On a Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about finding your voice. What does that mean? Your voice. Finding your voice. Who are you? Who are you as an artist? Who are you as a person? And how do we get that process, which it takes about 7 to 10 years on average? It takes any artist of any discipline about 7 to 10 years to really find your voice. And I think right now it takes a bit longer because of social media, because of the way that artists come up now. Like, we don't have all the outlets that artists had through, like, let's say the 70s, where you had live venues that you could play every night for years to really become a strong band. We don't have those opportunities anymore. It's very difficult to find a stage to play live on right now. Plus, with social media, you're finding your audience is finding you online. Playing to this camera, which I'm doing right now, right? Speaking to a camera. And I'm really comfortable with it. I've been working since I'm 8 years old as a performer. I've done TV, film, voiceovers, stage, and actors. There are actors who do film and TV, and they will say, "Oh, I love doing the stage," or they don't, right? Because these are very different things. Being live with people, breathing in the room, in the space, being from the beginning to the end, no takes, no cuts, no pause here, we want to make a change. It's a very, very different experience than being in the studio. And you can learn to love both. Most artists have a preference. Wow, it's funny light. Okay. But what does it mean? What does it mean to find your voice? What does it mean to really discover who you are? We all start with influence, totally normal. We start with people we love, people we're inspired by, people we're told we are like, people we're told we should be like. We start with a lot of influence. As human beings, we do, and then as artists, we do. And we need to move from influence to our own vision, that imagination that you have for, I want to do a song like this. I want to see the visuals like this. I want to be like this on stage. That incredible imagination that you have, that's what we need to bring out. And then we need to go from imagination to execution and then tweaking. Hold on one second. I've got the air on. I think it might just be making a whole lot of noise. So I'm going to cut that off. I think that our ideas can be phenomenal, right? Like, our ideas can be phenomenal. Like, you have an idea and you might go from, like, oh, I'm going from here to there, and like that vision led me there. But most likely, somewhere between your idea and final execution are going to be 6 drafts, 10 drafts, shifting a little this way, shifting a little that way, because going from idea and inspiration to the physical, you might need to change it because of budget. You may need to change it because of time constraint, because of limitation in build. Like, there's a million reasons why that might happen, right? And that's all okay. I mean, when you have very little, you get really creative, right? Sometimes having an unlimited budget can be a detriment when you don't know how to structure it, or you don't know when to stop, or you're like, right? There's pros and cons to both, but we can get really ingenious. Have you seen that kid that's building cars out of cardboard? He takes 30 days to build like a Lamborghini. It's amazing. This kid is incredible. Incredible. Like, what the imagination can do. And we want to listen to that imagination. So a few thoughts about finding your voice. Number one is, you really have to put it in action. I'm a coach. I train people. I empower them to be healthier, better, stronger, so tour can be more fun. So you don't worry about your vocal instrument, and you can go out and just really focus on connecting with your audience, because you don't have a worry about your voice. You know how to work with your voice night after night. That being said, there are certain things, like, I need to work with someone in my space or in the coaching space, and then in a rehearsal space, and then full dress rehearsal with lights and like a full rehearsal, and then stage. Each time your adrenaline's going up, each time you're leveling up your game, and often what you do vocally will change 100% from and then there's in studio on the mic, right? But 100% from just being in your own space or in my studio and singing to a stage with a full band and instrumentation, you're going to do some different things. So it's important for you to have all of those experiences. What is it like to play in a coffee house? What is it like to play in a 250 seat room, 5,000 festival? Your energy is going to be different. Your energy needs to be different because a festival, you want to be drawing people in that are just passing by and don't even know who you are, right? As opposed to you can't play that in a 250 seater. You actually can't. Energetically, can you be huge? Yes. Queen Herbie, first time I saw her, 900 seats, and I saw her and said she has arena energy. Arena. Like she has the magnetism and the charisma for an arena, and that's awesome. But she didn't play the 900 seats like it was an arena. It wouldn't make sense. But she had the energy. I'm like, oh yeah, I see it. She's got that quality, and her show was so polished. Is so polished, incredible. You have to be playing live to find your voice. You have to be playing live to find your persona on stage. And I don't say persona as in a mask or something different from yourself. I mean your presence on stage, the way you move on stage, the way you communicate with an audience on stage, the way you interact, the way you use the mic stand, the way you play and interact with your band. That all needs to happen so many times for you to become. You need 100 shows to start at zero. 100 shows, and everything that could go wrong will have gone wrong. So when it happens again, you'll be like, oh, no problem. I can handle this. And now you're at another level of performing with your audience. You're not stressing. You broke a string on the guitar, you're not stressing. You tune and talk to the audience at the same time, you're not stressing. I remember seeing Cisco, Thong to Thong Thong Thong. That song's amazing. The story behind that song's amazing. It's built on a classical piece, and the string arrangement's done by an incredible string arranger. It's actually like a really high level song. This thong, 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 amazing. But that being said, Cisco performed it on Saturday Night Live, and that song comes off like a one hit wonder. But his performance, dancing, singing, amazing. Really solid. But what happened was his mic went out on a live show on live TV. He tossed it off stage, did an 8-bar, 12-bar dance break, caught the mic coming back, and went right into the next section vocally. And I went, that guy knows what he's doing. This is not his first rodeo. He's been on it. He's been on his game, and he's a pro. That was awesome to see. Christian Bernal is asking, what if playing live is not an option? So you've got to find the way to make that happen and make it happen with live streaming as well, or streaming. Like this is a performance, right? I'm connecting with you. I'm talking with you. But it's not the same as being in the room and living and breathing with people. I'm just saying make both happen. But let's look at that. For rehearsal processes, you're going to work out your songs. You also then need to be doing run-throughs of your shows. And then you need to put a camera in front of you and 2 on the sides and do run-throughs of your shows, recording them so that you can watch yourself later and then look at yourself and watch those recordings and say, what weird thing am I doing? Oh, that's weird. Can I make it a thing? Can I make it bigger, bolder? Can I linger on it longer? You want to find the things that make you you. What are you doing that's a little weird? It's going to be a thing. It's going to be your thing. And that's what I'm talking about, of like finding yourself, your voice is putting a break where there isn't normally a break. Your voice is putting 2 bars extra in a song because you feel it and that becomes a signature. Your voice is mixing genres of music to create your own sound. Your voice is the language and the lyrical content that you use that is not the way someone else would say it. Your voice is getting beyond what everyone told you should be, how you should sound, what people want you to be, what even people like you to be. It's getting beyond where the algorithm is even taking you, because the algorithm has bubbles, and maybe one bubble pops off and you're like, "Ooh, wow, look, my numbers went up, my this went out. Oh, they like when I do this. I'm going to do more of it." Don't let your audience lead you. First of all, that's only a part of an audience that found you. If you do more things, another bubble could find you. So, yes, you want to lean into what works, but not if it's not really you, which starts with don't put something out that isn't really you. But for example, there's an artist that was in my Compass program, and he's been making a living in a certain genre of music because he writes it well. He said he did well doing it. He started getting more and more shows this way, but then he found himself doing music that really isn't his heart. Like he's like, I'm more this than that. And then we're like, well, then you got to be doing more of this because you're the one on stage all the time. You're the one performing every night. You're serving up a flavor every night that you've got to consume. You need to love what you're doing. You're the doer and you're the first audience member. So you got to love it first and foremost. Also, the more you love what you're doing, the percentages of people who love what you do will grow. There is a spectrum. People who haters, hate you. People who don't know, don't care. People who are like, meh. People who like you a lot, like you, love you, super fans. That spectrum always exists. Doesn't matter what you put out, that spectrum will be there. What do you think the chances are of the percentages being higher in the superfan area if you love what you're doing and if you don't love what you're doing? The percentages of people who love what you're doing is going to be much higher when you love what you're doing. Makes sense. So let me look at a couple notes of things I wanted to share with you. Creating without fear of judgment. When you can perform in front of your parents and not care what they think, you're winning. The minute you start writing music to please everyone, you are losing your voice. Some people won't get it. Some people will love it. As long as there's people who are connecting to it. Like this is not about it's my thing. I'm just going to do what I love. Like if it's not landing, then you got to adjust. It's not landing. There's something missing, right? Really important that you're following your voice, but is it landing? Is the message, am I connecting? Is my audience growing? Because that's part of the equation here. Not just I'm going to do me. Nobody gets me, but oh well. People got to be getting you also. But your job is to create something real, not something that fits in a box, not something that's everybody's cup of tea or meeting expectations. It's really coming from the need of you needing to say what you have to say and then finding the way that you have to say it, want to say it. If you love polka meets Tex-Mex, there's going to be an audience for it. It's your truth, the way you want to say it. It's finding that you're a great rapper. It's finding that you love guitar and saxophone. It's finding out there's an artist that was in my Compass course, signed, everyone waiting for this album to come out. And she said, I just haven't been able to put it out. I don't know why. And then through the process of taking Compass, she'd realized, oh, I love the songs, but the message is wrong. I really want to empower females in China. And all my lyrics are the typical Chinese cute girl love story lyrics. And that's why I've hesitated. And now I know that's not the message. That's not what how I want to impact my audience. So she's like, I need to go back and rewrite the lyrics to these songs. Message matters. When people ask me about covers, what cover should I cover? What cover should I cover? What song should I cover? The first thing you want to look at is read the lyrics. Like find messages that that mean something to you. Find a message that matters to you, because that's the first thing. Music can be changed, arrangements can be changed. A rock song could become a disco song, but is the message what you want to say? That's the place to start for you sharing your voice. Mix New York is in Vancouver watching Tarot TV every single day. That's amazing. I've never seen it. He's talking about Project Tarot, which is a band and a boy group TV show that I worked with for 3 years in New York. And now some of the guys are Ballistic Boys in Japan. Ayumu is solo. Masafumi is solo. There's another group. Oh, Bleecker Street. That's another group from that Project Taro. And my dog Taro was named by the guys from Project Taro. Mix, can you tell me where it's playing? Because maybe I'm in Paris. Maybe I could find it. I got to do a little search for that. That's so cool. I will look into that. I love that. That's amazing. So finding your voice. I want to tell you something that this has happened a number of times. It just happened yesterday with an artist that I was working one-on-one with. And this conversation is so important for, again, having your true voice and finding your voice, being free in your voice. Living in a city like New York, which is where I spent over 14 years, and this conversation came up a lot. If you're worried about your neighbors hearing you sing or practice, that's problematic, because you literally will shut down your voice. You'll create vocal problems holding back or being really, really breathy because you don't want to be heard by your neighbors. Now take that in. You don't want to be heard by your neighbors. You feel like I'm imposing or they're going to judge me for how I sing. That's just your neighbors. You want to be an artist on stage selling CDs and people buying tickets, and you're worried about the neighbors? Now, don't do it at midnight, but either, number one, let go of that, give a concert to your neighbors, find a house you can live in that you feel comfortable singing in, or go find a rehearsal space that you go to, if not every day, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and you rent that space so that you can feel free to open up and really let yourself be expressive. Because you cannot find your voice if you're holding back, fearful of being heard. You literally are a singer and want to be a singer and an artist on stage to be heard. It is a driving force of being a singer. Amazing. Spry Bry from Vancouver, coming to Paris. Amazing. That's awesome. Jen, I'm so glad you love this. Yes, it's very funny. Singers, we often have, well, we all have had beliefs that mess us up, and we need to, in our adulting, unravel those beliefs so that you can be true to yourself. And sometimes we have like that concern of like, I want to be polite to my neighbors, which is great. Be polite. Soundproof your house, get a vocal booth, sing in the closet. But I remember, for example, I was on a trip. I was a teenager, and I was on a trip in Europe, and I skipped doing some of the things because I needed to stay back and practice my voice. Now, was that foolish of me? Yes, I would say so. I think if you're taking a vacation and you're in Europe for the first time, or you're in Europe with a group of friends, don't miss any of it. Go do the thing. I've been gluten-free for 25 years. Eat the thing. Eat the baklava on turkey. I ate the baklava on turkey. And then go home and take care of it. Go to acupuncture, do the things, but live and feast and enjoy. Does that mean ignore your voice? No. But let me go back. I'm singing in a hotel room. This was in Italy. And I went into the bathroom to be considerate. And my friends all told me, oh, we could hear you outside from the street. I was singing a lot of high stuff. I was like really practicing and stretching my range. And I was like, part of me was like, oh, oops, like I didn't mean to be intrusive, but also, okay, for my 45-minute rehearsal, I was being heard. I have a right to be heard. I need to do my job. and that's it. Do your job. You have to have a healthy ego, and you have to have enough curiosity, dedication, passion, and craziness to want this and to do the work to put in. So go for it. Um, Finding your message, finding your truth, finding what it is that I want to say, and how is that inner vision imagining how I want to say it. Go for it. Go for it bold. Go for it to the extreme. And then find your way to honing in. Take huge leaps and then, like, let me dial it down. It's much easier to dial back than it is to bring out. Bringing out a performance is much harder than, like, oh, that's amazing. Now just bring it down a little. Because you're giving when you bring it out. When you're bold, you're giving. If you are an introvert, be intensely introverted. Go for it. Wear a wig over your face like Sia, or like Mia, the DJ. She did her live show super low, um, low lamp, low lit. A lot of it, she was in silhouette because the light was coming this way and it was a silhouette. There was this screen with visuals behind her, and it was set up like a living room. And it was so cool. It wasn't like, oh, you all need to see me like this. No, it was like music, mood, vibe, dancing, like the audience was dancing. And a couple songs were lit up where we could see her, but the rest of the time was very dark, moody, silhouetted. Why not? So cool. Set a really cool vibe, unique stage experience. Awesome. You do you, boo. All of you, please do you. And you have to find out who you are to do that, right? You have to find out, who am I and what do I want to say? And how do I want to say it? And then you got to try it. And then you got to see how it lands with the audience. And then try it again and see how it lands with the audience. And if that's on social media, try it on social media. Try lots of ways to express yourself on social media. Am I talking straight to camera? Am I letting people just peek into my view? And for this, look at things that you like. Like, find your taste. Find your taste. One artist in my Compass program, we're looking at their visuals for their social media, their music videos. We're looking at their visuals. And, I noticed from their visuals some patterns. And I was like, the big picture here to me is, it feels very voyeuristic. Like, nothing is posed. Everything, I just feel like I'm a fly on the wall to these images. I just happen to be almost sometimes at a distance able to see, like, oh, that's an interesting world I'm peeking into, right? And so that awareness, and she knew and saw it from another way, like another way to describe that. And she's like, yeah, that's what I like. So in creating their work, none of it's going to be like this. It's going to be very peek into my world. That's their thing. What is your thing? I'm a very direct, conversational, I'm going to communicate with you. I'm going to have conversations. In fact, for the next some of these Wednesdays, I'm going to be interviewing artists that I work with and people in the business that I work with, and just hanging and talking, because I love having conversation. This, to me, like, give me comments. I love having a conversation with people. So that for me is, oh, if I just talk to people, they get me. If I In fact, my TEDx Gateway talk, I stood up, I walked around. I just wasn't sit down and write it. No, I stood up, I recorded, and I did it 3 times. I recorded and improvised the talk. I knew what I was going to talk about, and I improvised 1 time. And I went, okay, yeah, I like this, that, felt a little funny here. I did it a second time. Okay, reflected on that, did it a third time. I'm like, that's the one. Then I handed it off to someone to literally write a transcript. In fact, now AI can do that, right? Like, just give me a transcript of what I said. Then from the transcript, I sat with it and tweaked and was like, oh, this would be a good story to add here, or I could say more detail there. But 99% of it was done, and it was done by me standing up and talking. And in fact, I workshopped it in a creative retreat. And And that one helped me craft it more. But then again, I stood up on my feet and improvised. And my imagination, and it always was like when I do my TED talk, I haven't done I did this as TEDx Gateway, which was awesome. And it was online because of COVID. I was doing it online. And so it actually ended up being a little different because there was an interview. But my intention, and I will do this, my vision and imagination was I'm going to sing. I'm going to get the audience to sing. I'm going to have a conversation with this audience, and I'm going to have them participate in the experience. Because for me, what I love, what works for me, and what is part of my voice is giving people an interactive experience. I'm not just going to talk to people, I'm giving them an experience. I want to move them, touch them, reach them, and it is through song and music, it is through voice. So, and I want people to have an emotional reaction and an experience. Now, any speaker will say, oh, you need an emotional reaction with your audience. Yes. But for me, it is about not only sharing this way, but connecting the people in the room with each other, giving an experience where they get to have an exchange. So everything that I do, my online courses, Compass, my Compass Live event, Compass Unplugged, if I'm doing work at NAMM, for example, or doing a presentation, it's going to involve the opportunity for the artists to talk to each other, for the people in the room to meet each other. Now, in this case, we can't unless you're chatting. You guys can connect with each other in the chat and get to know one another and see who's like, oh, I love what their comment was and what they had to say. Let me go reach out to them. We need to do this in my space, like in my Zoom or like in a way, but I will always have time and opportunities in my experiences to connect the people in the room, because I don't believe in just a one-way conversation. I want to create community. I want you to find a friend in this space. There's a potential collaborator in this space, because here we all are with similar backgrounds, similar desires in the same industry. I don't have to be your only support system. It's a missed opportunity if there's 500 people in the room, 1,500 people in the room, for you to meet some people before you leave that you're going to really vibe with. So that is my vision. That is my experience, and the experiences that I create is connectivity. One of the things artists have said about the Compass program is, oh my gosh, the community and the people I've met now, and now that we're going to write together, we're working together, the community that I've experienced in this 6 months is amazing. And that's really important. We just got to find our people. That's so important, to find our people. So finding your voice, a few more things around this. It's looking at not who you want to be, not who you wish you could be. It's looking at who you are. What life experiences have you had that give you a particular point of view? And what do you want to say about your life experiences? How much of them do you want to share? You can share them emotionally. You don't have to share the plot of them. You don't have to tell anybody, hey, this happened to me when I was 7 years old. But you do emotionally in your songs, or you do anyway. It's in your skin. It's in how you move through the world. But do you want to use it directly? Do you want to use it to empower? Do you want to use it to raise money for a charity that will help people in that way? Hey, Chuck. Oh, it's good to see you here too. That's awesome. Thanks for joining. Finding your voice is looking into your archetypes and saying, okay, for example, myself, Artemis is one of my main archetypes. Clearly, teacher, sage is one of my archetypes. And do you want to lean into it, step into it, be empowered by it, or no? Right? Like shying away from who you are disempowers you. Leaning into it is where you get your strength, your confidence, your unique point of view. So, example, a bunch of people had said to me, oh, you look like such a Cupid. Now, think of me at 16, 22, and 35. And 35, I looked like I was in my 20s. Like I've always looked much younger. I hope I still do. Actually, why not? Who cares? Life is good. I mean, I want to look healthy and be healthy, but I think that avoiding aging is, um, I don't know, foolish, impossible. Like we age. It's part of the experience. Embrace it. Do it well. Do it healthfully. Do it gracefully. That being said, dark hair. My hair was almost black, right? Dark hair, sometimes very wavy and curly. And people had just said to me so many times, "Oh, you look like such a cupid. You're such a cupid." And I'd be like, ugh, ugh, cupid, ugh, what? I'm not a like little cherub, not cupid, cherub. Cupid is a cherub, but you look like a cherub. And it really like, right? Whatever you fear a little bit or resist a lot, go look at it because there's truth in there. There's truth. You're the herald for many of us. Oh, Chuck, that's really very kind of you. Thank you. That's very kind. So, cherub. So I was like, what the heck? Okay. And at one point, I was like, okay, I keep hearing this over and over. I'm a cherub. What the heck's cherub? My idea of it is a little marble figure from, history, Italian marble sculptures, and Cupid. But when I looked into what cherub was, they are very, very fierce warriors. God's spiritual last line of defense. They're literally the last line of defense. Think of soccer, football, guarding the goal, right? They're God's last defense. They have 100,000 eyes on their wings, and they see what everybody's doing, and they are actually violent little guys because they fiercely protect spiritual life. And I would say there's truth, that there's definitely truth there for me. I am a spiritual warrior. I don't believe in war between men. I believe in spiritual integrity. I believe in evolving as a human. I believe in working to be evolving as a human, to be a better, kind person in this world, to be of service to others. To me, that is spirit. And probably many more things if I took if I thought more deeply or thought more about it. So when I looked at a cherub, I went, oh yeah, kick ass, embrace that. I'm a cherub, right? And now I'm more clear about myself, more clear about how would I might want to use that. Oh, would I want to do like a whole series of cherub? Would I want to, would I want to make a costume with 1,000 eyes on wings, right? Like, how would I play with that artistically? So knowing that could really come into play. Artemis is one of my main archetypes. Artemis, god of war, again, war, hunter, bow and arrow, quiver and bows and arrows. I actually have a tattoo on my back that is Artemis. She always had a sheepdog. And she always had a sheepdog, and she was a lesbian. I have literally had a sheepdog my whole life. Humor here, laugh here, and I'm a lesbian. So there was so much about Artemis that was like spot on for me, and in fact, like real detail. When I looked at a book that was like not my high school Greek mythology, it was a friend of mine was getting a master's in mythology and handed me a book with like some stuff on Artemis that blew my mind. It was Artemis is a mirror to others. She shows other people who they are by being a mirror to them. People come to Artemis to see themselves. There were things that Artemis says, and they weren't generic. I don't remember what they were now because it's been 20 years since I read that book. But they were things that Artemis says, and I was like, I literally say this. I say this all the time in my coaching. Oh my gosh, I'm so Artemis. And again, embracing that allowed me to say, yes, I am this. This is my power. This is who I am. It also enabled me to talk to Artemis inside of myself and say, okay, Artemis, you're a warrior and you're fierce, but we got to make a little room for some softness. We got to make room to let people in. We got to make room for Aphrodite here, because I think that you're overprotecting yourself. And it let me see myself more deeply. What would that do to my costuming, Artemis? I have a tattoo, bow and arrow. By the way, Cupid, cherub, bow and arrow. So would a bow and arrow become part of my symbolism or my merchandise? Would a bow and arrow be featured in a music video? Would I write more songs about this, right? Of being a spiritual warrior, of being a warrior of, um, uh, would it be about the war of love, right? There's so many, look at me, there's like right now, this one thought about Artemis and just this one little brief conversation around um, this archetype is, I'm going to get so many ideas. And then I start playing with them, right? Then you start playing with them. And this is just one archetype. We actually have 12, and 3 are going to be your brand. So really diving into archetypes is going to give you so much clarity about yourself. Mark Basie, his latest record, Folk, Hero, Funk. Archetype, hero, folk, and funk, his sound. We did this work together, and he made this album, and I can share this with you because he's talked openly about it, and he tattooed it across his chest, Folk, Hero, Funk. This was about helping him find his sound, that blend of funk and folk, and making a sound that is uniquely him, and he did it in the record. It's incredible. And being the hero and the lover and the lyric and the storytelling that came out of that. And now you can hear the latest songs that he's writing, being a dad and being in a relationship, the lover, and where that lover archetype is now in his music. The archetype didn't change, but the story, some of the story and the messaging and the lyrics have changed because he's in a relationship and has a child. Amazing. That's the evolution of the human within their archetype, or the evolution of the archetype because of the human's experience. How awesome is that? This is knowing yourself and finding your voice. This is saying, yeah, this is who I am. Another artist in Compass, finding their archetypes, found one of their primary 3 and said, I looked at all these songs that I've been writing for the album and realized that a bunch of them, definitely more than 12, really were in alignment with one of my archetypes. So I've decided to make the whole album about that. And that's my leading archetype for this album. And now they have a whole concept album. Amazing. Finding your voice is finding yourself. Who am I? And then going deeper and deeper, and then exploring, how do I bring it outward? How do I share this externally? Mark Basie, lover, being an archetype. Oh, maybe you want to do maybe your live show involves a meet and greet or a mingle for people, right? Oh, I'm going to go back to my Cupid. I'm going to play Cupid. Maybe I would play Cupid on my social media. Maybe I would play Cupid at my meet and greet. Maybe I would I'm going to get people to meet each other and make a connection, whether it's love or not, right? Like that could be a way to play out this Cupid idea. I mean, that's what this is all about. This is what I love. I love building a world and coming up with all these ideas from the weaving of your archetypes and your life story and your other things that we discover. I love helping you to build that world and go, all of this makes sense. Dean Pitchford, incredible songwriter. He wrote one of my favorite Whitney Houston songs, All the Man That I Need. I used to cry myself to sleep at night, but that was all before he came. I haven't heard the song or listened to it forever. I still remember it. It's so beautiful. It's really one of my favorites. He also wrote Fame and Footloose and other big films and shows. Amazing. He talked about, I love this because, again, for me, this really matches what we're talking about in terms of archetype, right? He said that when he writes, and I also love this style of writing that he mentioned, he writes the characters. And on Post-it notes on his wall, big wall, lots and lots of Post-it notes, he writes, so for one character, he'll write 10 to 15 things that they would find themselves experiencing or doing. Like, let's give them a name. Mark would find himself, at a dance club at night, getting into a fight with a guy, some guy over a girl. And Mark would find himself waking up on a Sunday morning, not knowing how he got there. Like he'll write, I'm just making this up, right? But he'll write 15 scenes or situations. That's the word I'm looking for. He would write 15 situations that one character would find themselves in. And then he'll do this for every character. And then he said the script will and the story will start to write itself because I have all these scenarios that I can pick, all these scenes that can come to life, and they are consistent. Since they are rooted in the character, we believe the story because, of course, Mark would find himself in that situation and Alice would find herself in this situation. So the story will write itself because the archetype and the situations are true to that person. I love that. And this is why knowing who you are means that your songs and your visuals and your video content and your social media content will make sense to you and make sense to your audience who's going to go, I like it. I believe her because, or I believe them because everything is in alignment with you. We won't buy it if you're doing something influenced by someone else. You go, they're doing that thing that's really cool. I'm going to do that. But not if it doesn't suit you. Not if you're just trying to be something. Focus. Love to see you, man. Focus, 3 dots. Incredible producer, incredible human. I appreciate you. And one of our mentors in Compass. Love you so much. Yvonne is screaming in rage with everything going on and can no longer sing. Yvonne, I feel you. I would encourage you to sing and let it up and out. Let the anger up and out. Let music save your life. Let music keep your sanity. By not being in rage, but yay, I get to let my rage out. Yay, I get to let my pain out. Yay, I get to run my disheartened self out. Sing it out. Sing it so you can transform it into something healing for yourself. So you don't just boil up inside. Let singing save you. Let music transform it into beauty for you, into healing for you, and perhaps others. Focused love to you. You're awesome. So I hope that this is super helpful. Well, Yvonne, I don't know your situation, but I would say that a lot of vocal damage can be healed and can be, with good technique, worked through. So I would look into that. I don't know what your situation is, but I would certainly wish you for healing and, yes, rest to recover. Learning how to use the voice straw would be great. I hope this is helpful for you all. I hope this is meaningful for you. I really encourage you to go inside and listen to your inner vision and then experiment and explore and play. Experiment, explore, and play. Reflect, change, tweak, check it out with an audience, see what they vibe with. Experiment, explore, and play. And with that, I would really encourage you. My Compass program, it is a 6-month artist development program for pro and emerging artists. If you are at that part of your career, apply for Compass. Our next cycle starts on July 8th. We've got a number of artists already in the program. We're still going through a lot of applications. We just finished our scholarship contest, where we have 2 artists joining us, Nick Howe and Lake Kyle. So excited for that. And but we are accepting applications still. So if you're in that and you're wanting to get new motivation, inspiration, go deeper into who are you, this is not for the newbie. This is, I am making music full time. I know myself, but how can I get more clear? How can I get more specific? How can I have more fun doing this? How can I communicate it to my team better? Check out Compass. I'll put a link in my IG website, wendyparr.com. And if you're at a newer level of your career, newer stage of your development, check out Navigator. It's a taste of my Compass course. It's going to take you into the archetypes. It's going to get you asking questions that help you to know yourself and lead you into yourself, your voice, trusting yourself. Really essential. And it's super useful. Putting this in my Instagram comments right there for you. I find that the more you know yourself, including the shitty stuff, if you're like, yeah, I'm this person and it's not my best trait, but it's there. You can then work on it because it's not your strongest trait, and you could work on it to be like, I'm working on being a better human and parent to my kids, through healing, through knowing myself, through processing trauma, right? where was I going with that? Oh, but also, yeah, if you're like, yeah, that's who I am. That's not my greatest trait. That can also be expressed in your art. Like, this is not about being, uh, I'm all good. This is about being human. I'm sharing my frailty. I'm sharing my vulnerability. I'm sharing my truth. I'm sharing my discomfort. And I'm sharing it through art to transform and heal myself and others. Because all music is healing. Art is connection. Art is truth and communication. And the more truth we tell, the more human everyone can be. The more free we can be to be vulnerable and real. And the more real we are and honest we are, the more we are and have integrity. I think that's a pretty good human experience right there. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. The long form will be on my YouTube channel, and you'll see more clips and pieces of this. Join me next week where I'm going to have a special guest. We will announce the guest shortly. So that, yeah, come back next Wednesday. I'm going to have a great conversation on art and compass and development and process and creativity. And please be true to your voice, because only you can tell the story the way you're going to tell it, and we need to hear your version of it. 7 billion love songs on the planet. There's going to be another 100,000 launched just today online. We need your version. John Moreland, go find John Moreland. He's amazing. Punk band. Now he's doing arpeggiated finger picking guitar, folk Americana. Makes you cry within 6 seconds of every song. He's amazing. Find your voice. Find the way you want to say it. It's the way to go. You speak another language, throw that in there. You're from a particular culture or country, weave it in. How do you want to weave it in? Weave it in modern, weave it in, Motown meets Tokyo. Oh my gosh. I'm interested in hearing that. I have heard it. I have an artist who does it. I work with an artist that does it. And I kept encouraging them, please bring in the Japanese language, bring in your Japanese. It's you. You are Japanese. Why wouldn't that be part of your music, like front and center? Yeah. Bring us you. Highlight yourself. Magnify pieces of yourself, parts of yourself in your persona. You're super introverted, be introverted. Be introverted on social media. Do ASMR. Don't talk even. If that's what you don't have to. You're bold, be bold. You're colorful, be colorful. Thanks for joining me, y'all. And please DM me, ask me questions. Check out my website to see the artist development courses I have, and things that I work with one-on-one with artists. 34 years of coaching. I've created an online pathway to help you learn and all the things that I teach. They're available to you. And if you're at a level of professionalism, join me for Compass. I would love to empower you and help you build a world. Awesome. Thank you all for joining me. I'll see you next week.